Unless you've been living in a cave in the United States, you're aware that today, being Friday, the 29th of September, that we are probably hours away from potentially going into another government shutdown. And man, this one is especially painful because it's not just a Republican versus Democrat, but a Republican versus Republican and Republican versus Democrat. So that's one of the reasons why it seems almost inevitable that at this point that there's going to be a government shutdown. And just to give you just one brief snippet of just how contentious this is within the Republican Party, this was on CNN earlier today.
American people elected a House Republican majority to serve as a check and balance, and to be able to govern.
Yeah.
And so some of my colleagues have frankly been stuck on stupid.
That's him talking about, some of his recalcitrant Republicans that, there's a lot of animosity within. But honestly, I mean, is anyone up there, free from that charge right now? Because it's really everybody's working together for their own interest and not for the interest of the American people. And that's what just really irks me about this. Because look, here's one thing that we all need to understand right away before this even goes into a shutdown, is that as has been the case in 100% of every shutdown, it will absolutely be the case when this one is finished. And we're going to do a deep dive on that when it happens. And we'll probably cite this video as evidence of this, but it will be resolved. Whether it goes, a day, whether it goes 16 days like the one in 2013 or 34 days last time, or set some crazy new, ridiculous new record, it's going to end. And in the end of the day, the decisions that are made on that day could be made on this day without having to harm anybody's livelihood. And that's what I want to focus on today. Not so much the politics of what's going on and why this group is saying that and the other group is not, because frankly, it doesn't matter. What does matter is that their unwillingness to just do their job and to do it in a timely fashion so that they get the negotiations that are done and the compromises that are necessary for running government. They can and should do it now. But if they wait, they're gonna cause lots of ripple effects and lots of harm. There's going to be so many people that get harmed by this because they don't even know when their next paycheck's going to come. There's already all over the federal government, there's all kinds of notices and information being given to all the employees from their various agencies, telling them what they're going to do and what they can't do, which is virtually anything, and that no one knows how long it's going to be before they get their next paycheck. And look, lots of people don't have the luxury of having big savings accounts, or they're not elite rich like a lot of these members of Congress, most of the members of Congress. So to them, it's no big deal. But of course, by the way, they get paid. Their government, their money and salary is not going to be interrupted in the least. But yours will if you're in the federal government. And we're talking 3.5 million people and all of the family members that live on that. And a lot of people live paycheck to paycheck because despite what some people think, a lot of government workers, the vast majority, are not rich. Actually, hardly any of them are. Most people live paycheck to paycheck, and they're just like you and me. They just want to be able to count on the government to do what it says and give them their salary for the job that they do. And look, we have to just at some point say we're going to prioritize people over the political stuff. I mean, we keep saying that, but it keeps not getting done. And I just wonder how bad things have to get before finally members of Congress just do the bare minimum and do what they're supposed to do on time, like all of us have to do. Look, you have a job. You have to go to your office and your boss tells you something. You have deadlines. You don't get a choice to do it or not do it. You have to do your job on time or you hear about it. So, if there's any way we can find a way to hold Congress accountable to the same standards all the rest of us in America are held to, I think that it would be a whole lot better and our country would be running a lot better because of it. And then a lot of these differences would resolve themselves. But gracious members of Congress, man, can you guys just do your job like the rest of America? I don't think that's too much to ask.